Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 38 of Direwolf20's Let's Play Satisfactory series, where I'm making a mess of Direwire, let me tell you. Last episode, we'll start with this, what we're doing, and then we'll go into why we're doing it. But last episode, we started working on this lovely little contraption over here that will make, for me, some supercomputers, right? Because we determined that we need supercomputers, probably in a decentish bulk. I don't know exactly how much. So I started hooking everything up, right? So we've got our computer maker, which I've now set to just run all the time. I got rid of the limiting factor of it. And I added some plastic belting here. Last episode we made the high-speed connector start crafting, so that's in progress. Not a big deal there, so that's making me the high-speed connectors I need. We need 3.75 per minute there, and this guy needs 5.625 per minute to run at full speed, but I'm not too worried about that. We don't need him running at super full speed. In fact, the slower the better, frankly. I might even cut down his amount here. Like, if we set you to 1, would that be cool? I guess we'll find out. That might be cool. And then the last thing we need is AI limiters, which is a combination of quick wire, which is over here in a convoluted mess of wiring and cabling and wiring. And yeah, I've just given up on things looking decent at this point, haven't I? Pretty much, yes. Pretty much, yes. What's in here? Oh, that's right, these things. I'm just gonna whack you and put you somewhere-ish. Was this in here? Is this where these things went? This was making modular engines with smart plating, wasn't it? Okay, well, we're going to put you back here then. Right? That should be fine. You guys can go in there. Because I'm going to need some wiring here. So we've got... the thing is that I realized we don't have any copper piping over here. Like, none. Like, 0 copper piping exists in this location. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem for us. So I'm starting to run this over, and I'm trying to decide how, pray tell, I'm going to... start handling the quick wire that we need. So if we wanted to, there's 2 things we could do. We could maybe put the assembler over here. Right? This might do. And then you could do the AI limiter for us, copper sheets and quick wire. Some semblance of neatness, right? So for that to work, we're going to basically need to run these guys all the way over, right? So I'm kind of... something like this-ish might work. Yeah? It seems to mostly be working. Alright, that's not what I wanted to do. That was not what I wanted to do. Now, if we set you up, are you going to reach all the way over here? Probably not. I'm thinking, yeah, I definitely need at least one more interim connector. Probably run it here-ish. Alright. Not great, not terrible, but it gets the job done. It's rapidly becoming just so dire-wiry. Oh my goodness, it's getting so dire-wire that it's absolutely absurd. We're gonna have to something with this. This thing's a little convoluted, if you will, right? If we can say that, it's just a little bit convoluted. So I'm assuming that I will not be able to easily add a splitter here. Can we, you think? There's like no way you're going to let me just drop a splitter on this guy, is there? So what I'm thinking is you could go to here, and you could go to there, and then you could come out this way. Hey, that actually works. Holy cow, I did not expect. Did not expect that to work out so well. The dire wire is getting real, folks. If you came to this channel expecting anything but this, I don't know what you were thinking. I was trying to be neat and orderly for a while. Remember how long I tried that? It didn't last. It 100% did not last. But that's 5 AI limiters per minute that you're going to make for me, which is cool, right? And then you can take these AI limiters and start cracking on supercomputers, right? Yeah. I mean, basically. 3 high-speed connectors per minute. That's a little bit less than what we're making. Yes, it's doing 3.75. So yeah, I mean, you're going to take like an hour to produce the supercomputers that I need, but, I mean, we'll get there in the end, right? Okay. So yeah, supercomputer automation in progress. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Now, that's really using a lot of QuickWire. I have no idea what our QuickWire situation is at the moment, but I know that we're using it for a lot of things at this point. Like, look at all the QuickWire production we've got going on here. You actually are almost, like, struggling. We need 210 QuickWire over here. Bananas. We're going to have to amp some of this stuff up, right? There's like a pixel here where I can sneak in and get this. Got it. Sweet. Alright. So we're going to want to go look at our QuickWire production when we get a chance, which is, you know, sooner than later. Let's go take a quick look at that now. Yeah? I think that's a good call. I think that's a good call, right? So that was that dude. I'm just curious. I might need to, what I'm probably going to have to do, right, which we're going to absolutely want to do, is upgrade these guys to Mark V belts, right? And then you can be a Mark V lift. And that'll speed that process up so that at least we're breaking even-ish on this. And eventually this will start backstuffing again. And then the question is, how much QuickWire am I producing per minute? I honestly have no idea. It was so long ago that I set that up. So I'm going to go with these Blade Runners here so I can run a little bit faster out there. Let's go take a quick recap of where we were at with QuickWire, because it was so long ago that I set this up. I honestly couldn't tell you what my production looks like. So away we go. This looks pretty good, though. I was really doing nice and organized until I stopped being nice and organized. So you're doing what now, buddy? You got a lot of QuickWire here. Just don't know if you got that much, right? What I could do is ramp you up to Mark V's. Right, so how much are we producing here per minute? If we're looking at a per minute production rate, it's 240? Is that right? 240 per minute? Which technically to me sounds like it may not be enough. Technically to me it may not be enough. Now that is using 12 K-ternium per minute, and you guys are each making 15. Right? So if I were to... So theoretically we're fine on this amount. Right? And you're what? A Mark II. So you're doing 240 per minute. And really all we're using here is 45 times, it's 180. So we could absolutely expand this if we decided we want to. I'm not sure if we want to. Might not be a bad idea. Might not be a bad idea. I'm thinking we don't really need this buffer anymore, right? Like, this buffer probably doesn't need to exist. What we could do is remove it, add a couple more of these guys, right? Because if we're doing 240 and we're using 180, we can handle at least one more of these. And if we really wanted to be efficient, what we should be doing is merging all this quaternium, right? Like, what we should be doing is setting this to 12 per minute production, so that he's actually mathing out correctly. And then we'll know how much we're really using. So it's 36 per minute. So, hey Siri, what's 240 divided by 36? Hey, wake up. Hey Siri, what's 240 divided by 36?
240 divided by 36 is about 6.6666.
Alright, so I can set all these to 12 per minute, right? And then that'll support 6, a little bit more than 6, really, almost 7. Almost 7. Okay. But that's cool. So I could easily expand this. I just want to make sure that we're producing enough, right? I want to make sure that we're definitely producing enough. So, you to there. You to there. You're going to be quaternium ingots set to 12. And you're going to be quaternium ingots set to 12. Are you already a Mark II? You are not. But you are now. Okay. And that means you guys get to be all kinds of well-behaved. And yeah, it gets a little slanty, but that's okay. Just for the sake of, you know, space and whatnot, I think it's fine. Okay. So then you're going to do quick wire, which you're already producing, and you're going to do quick wire, which you're already producing, which is cool, right? And then what we want to do is basically remove this line, delete all this stuff, because honestly, who cares? We will remove this guy. We'll remove this guy for a moment. Okay. And then what we can have is this one as a merger. Okay. That looks cool. And look at me running out of aluminum alclad. Aha! So you're making 60 times 6 is 360, right? So technically, Mark IV belt should be able to handle that, right? Yes. So that should be fine. Alright, so that just ramps up our quaternium a little bit. And we should still be overproducing the ore, so we should have plenty of ore still. So no biggie on that front. Sweet. Alright, so that just ramps up our quaternium a little bit, because I'm definitely using more than what we were producing a minute ago, which was 240. Because isn't it like... Don't I need 200 and something per minute for just that one manufacturer I made last episode? Pretty sure the answer to that is yes. So that's not terrible. So now if we head back to our base, we should be cool. And we'll go check on our supercomputer production. Because, like I said, we may need some semblance of supercomputers. I don't know exactly how many. We're going to find out. But overall, a bit, yes. Now, what's this guy making? Nothing. Why were you making nothing? I don't even know why he's there. He was making nothing, though. So, you know, there's that. All right, you are doing the thing. You're making the supercomputers. You're cooking just fine. What I am going to do is real quick add a little bit of organizational storage container to you. Okay. And then we're going to do like the sneaky, you know, quick wire trick. I think 3 stacks should be enough. I think that sounds about right. 3 stacks should be good of supercomputers. Yeah? Okay. So that's cool beans. So we'll have lots of computers being made, obviously. That's okay. How's my this line doing? He's okay. We increased the number of these that we're allowed to make, and I think that worked out okay. Let's get some more tier 5 belt material, which should be over here courtesy of my drones, which is cool. Yep, there he is. One, 2, 3 stacks of this in my inventory seems like a good amount. I don't know that I need this much of this stuff, though. That's a lot. That's a lot, dudes. That seems like way too much, doesn't it? Doesn't it seem like way too much? Like 2 stacks should be enough, but I don't need that much. Yeah, 2 stacks should be plenty. Cool. All right, that works. I mean, I think that works. You guys think that works? I hope so, because that's what we're doing. I want to grab some more motors while I'm here, too. Okay, cool. You know what else I need is more concrete. I'm going to go grab that off camera and then decide what my next steps are. I might start being ready to hand in our nuclear power milestone. We just have to wait for those 50-ish supercomputers to be made, which isn't a huge wait, right? If I just make the maker of it do it, so let's see. I need 4 of those for the hand-in. And I like to have 4 on me at all times, so that's a good start. And then I also want 1,000 cables. I might manually make a few supercomputers just to speed things up a little bit. And... cool. Then we'll be good to go. Sweet. Alright, that looks good. Yeah, might make a few supercomputers by hand. So I'll be right back in a minute when I'm ready to hand this in. And then we're going to look at stuff and things. So I need AI limiters and high-speed connectors. All right, I can get the ones that have been made in advance and just manually craft them, because the supercomputer crafting is what takes the longest for sure. And then we're going to have a little bit of time to let our buddy heavy frames increase, because we've got... yeah, we're doing okay on these. Give me all of them. That should be fine. And you, give me the AI limiters and high-speed connectors you've got, so I can manually craft a few of these by hand. And then we should be good, right? See, we've already got 11. And we only need 50. So we're like, 20% of the way there. Checks math. Yeah, that's all right. All right, and then if we check supercomputers, we can make 7 more already. Look at that, it's beautiful. All right, I'll be back in a minute. You know what the limiting factor, by the way, is? Plastic. So I can easily get more of that and handcraft more. All right, believe it or not, I have 50 supercomputers ready to roll. So what I'm going to do is put away some of this excess junk that I don't super need at the moment. I'm going to put away the excess 2 supercomputers that I don't need at this exact moment. And we're going to go hand this in. And also, you're coming along nicely. Sweet. I want to have the excess heavy frames that I will probably need. I'm assuming a lot of these high-tech components are going to be part of the nuclear reactors and all that stuff. So let's go hand this in and get into uranium processing. Oh, yes. Boom. Nuclear power unlocked.
Milestone reached. Uranium scanning unlocked. With the provided buildings and parts, you can now set up nuclear power generation, which balances an increase of fuel production complexity with improved power output. A new project part enables progress to the next phase. Note, this method of power generation creates nuclear waste.
Nuclear waste is bad, by the way. In case you haven't been around for the past, 30 years, you should know that nuclear waste is not a good thing. And also in this game, it's definitely bad. So when you're near uranium or nuclear waste, for that matter, it will generate radiation. Nuclear waste cannot be sunk into the awesome sink, so don't expect that easy little way of just avoiding the stuff. It does need to be stored in a container, and the container will irradiate the area. So basically, don't set this up near your base or anywhere that you want to live, right? Anywhere that you want to be, no, it's bad, right? So just like the gas You need gas mask to be near. You need a radiation suit with uranium filters, right, to protect you from it. So first step, scanner update uranium, right? So we're going to go find that uranium. So I'm pretty sure I know of where one is. Pretty sure I know off the top of my head where one might be. Pretty sure it's over in this direction. Unless they changed it in Update 4, which I don't think they did. I don't think they changed anything about the map in Update 4. It's not terribly far away. But we're gonna wanna know, right? So there it is, 1,400 meters that way. Not terribly far. There's another one out that way, right? So if we check our map, we'll see that it's not far from our train station here, right? Not far at all from our little train depot. But it's not where you think it is. Cool. So what I'm gonna do is prepare my jetpack. Because... Woo! I'm pretty sure it's over this way. And we're going to see pretty quickly what radiation does to us, and then we're going to equip the radiation suit. What I'm planning to do is, step one, we're going to want to figure out where we want to set up this whole nuclear processing thing, right? That might be a good idea. Step two, we're probably going to want to look into what kind of resources we need for the whole nuclear processing thing, and plan on how we're going to get those resources to our nuclear plant. Because we don't want our nuclear power plant operating anywhere near where we want to live. Because it's just going to be a giant radiation area. Like, it's going to be bad all around. It's going to produce a ton of power for us, which will be cool. But it's also going to be, you know, very bad in terms of nuclear waste. So if my memory serves correctly, the uranium deposit is actually in this cave. So even though it looks like on the map it's chilling kind of near our train station up here, that's not exactly where it is. I mean, yes, that's where it is, but it's not on top of the mountain. It's below the mountain. So you need to head into this here cave, which is a good time. Do I see a slug up ahead? I do. We're going to snag that guy. And as this is a cave, we're going to assume that there's going to be some spiders happening. So, you know. And from a distance, it looked like a yellow slug, but it's definitely not a yellow slug. Inventory is good. Now, as we get closer and closer to our uranium node, we're going to know what's up. So yeah, we're only 200 and something meters away. So we're getting there. There's another one that's like 1,000 meters away, but this is the one that I'm going to tap into. Another one that's 1,500 meters off in that direction. Cool. Look at this cool cave, though. How cool is this? How neat is this cave? Spiders! I see spiders. They are nasty, those little things. Holy cow. Not a fan. Yeah. There it is, Uranium Node. Dun 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 dun. Now check it out. See your screen here? See the top? It says radiation level. And look, I'm taking damage from about this far away. Okay? Ow. Bad news bears. Now, if we get even closer, radiation levels will climb to the point where I'm taking hefty amounts of damage. Spiders don't seem to mind at all. So I'm going to equip my hazmat suit, which should protect me from the radiation. And you can see on the bottom, just like the gas mask, it slowly degrades. Now, this is a normal uranium vein, right? So it's nothing too crazy. This is a serious spider, by the way. Yeah, so with Oh, I think that spider released some gas. Maybe there's also gas here. I don't know. Radiation level is pretty severe. Is there a limit to how much my hazmat suit can protect? I don't know. That looks like gas, like gas masky kind of gas. So we're gonna want to be aware of that. That might be what was causing the damage. Yeah, I think those spiders release the gas. Those I think that's like the third tier, if you will, of spider. So, long story short, serious business radiation. You want to avoid it as much as you can. We want to be careful about storing this uranium, because storing it will also, like, the more uranium in a location, the more irradiated the radiation becomes. So if we created like an industrial storage container and put a whole bunch of uranium in it, it would be bad. It would be bad. But we're going to set up our miner real quick and get ready to start processing uranium. So step one, we're going to want an equipment workshop wherein we can portable miner ×2. And that looks cool. All right, so step 2 will be to build my miner Mark II, and I'm going to be preparing to lure this stuff out, right? Now, we know that we don't need to use these Mark V belts, but also we've got such a stupid amount of aluminum, who cares, right? And what I'm going to do is just basically run my power lines and conveyor belts out of this here cave, if I can remember how to get out, but I'm pretty sure it's this way. Right? And then we're gonna prepare for the future episodes. I need to think about where I'm gonna build this, right? Because I think before I make that decision, step 1 would probably be, what all do I need to do, right? What components and resources are going to be nuclear reactors, using? And then I'm assuming there's aluminum involved, but I don't know if it needs steel. I don't know if it needs concrete, right? There's things it might need that we want to consider. So I'm going to, step 1, decide where my nuclear location will be. Step 2, decide if there's resources nearby that we can tap into, right? So like if I need concrete and there's a stone thing nearby to where I want to build my nuclear island, that's cool. That works, right? All right, looks like we're rapidly approaching the mouth of this cave, which is cool. We're almost out of here. And I don't really need my hazmat suit anymore, yet. Once I connect this to power, hazmat suit will be important, because when I connect this to power, we're going to start pumping uranium out here, and the uranium is going to be somewhat radioactive. So that's a thing to know about. Okay. Now I don't know how easy it is going to be to tap into a power line. I don't know, like, my power lines seem pretty high up there, don't they? They really, really do. But I'll figure something out. But let's spend a minute looking at what we need to get. So uranium fuel rods are going to be needed. And that is a combination of encased uranium cells, right? So this is your uranium fuel rod. This is used as fuel for the nuclear power plant. Caution, produces radioactive uranium waste when consumed. Caution, moderately radioactive. Okay. And you're going to need electromagnetic control rods, which are stators and AI limiters. So we're producing both of those back at our base already, but that's a lot of things, right? Because we know that AI limiters those are the copper and quaternium that we just need. Yeah, it's a lot of things, right? Encased industrial beams are going to be needed here, right? So that's steel. This is like all the resources, right? And this recipe here is going to need, it's made in the blender, and it's going to need uranium ore, concrete, and sulfur, the liquidy sulfur stuff. Oh my goodness. That is bananas, right? Uranium is moderately radioactive. Sulfuric acid is going to play a role in this thing here. You're going to give me a little bit of sulfuric acid as an output too, aren't you? That's just going to be great. That's just going to be great. Mildly radioactive. There's a lot of steps here. Clearly, there's a lot of steps here, right? Nuclear power plant. That's the multi-block structure here. Produces nuclear waste. Can we see what waste looks like? No, we can't. I'm assuming that's going to be relatively radioactive as well. So lots of crafting is going to need to happen here. So here's something we could do. We could... Here's what I'm thinking. Tell me if this sounds crazy, right? Uranium fuel rods need this, which we have at our base. We could make these at the base, and then using drones, ship the electromagnetic rods out here. And we could also ship industrial beams, and we could also ship... maybe sulfuric acid and concrete could be made out here. Is there stone and sulfur nearby, by chance? Let's look for sulfur first. Is there sulfur nearby? Where's the nearest sulfur node? Possibly one relatively close. That's not that far. That's not that far. That might be doable. Right? And what if we scanned for stone? Is there a stone nearby? Yeah, there's a stone nearby too. So there's stone right here, and then there's actually, you know what? There's stone and sulfur right next to each other, right over here. Did you see that? It disappeared already, but if we scan for sulfur and then scan for limestone, right? There's stone and sulfur right next to each other, right over there. Now I wonder if that means that there's also... Come on, sulfur. Let's go. Where's the sulfur at? Somewhere-ish over there. But they looked right next to each other. Yeah, there you go. So look at that. And there happens to be water right next to it. So this might be nuclear area, right? That seems pretty ideal. Because if we look at our uranium fuel rods, we'll see that we need, raw material-wise, we need stone, and we need the sulfur, and we need the water, just to make this, right? And the uranium, obviously. So we could build all this over there, right? This needs steel, which is going to be iron and coal. And then this needs stators and AI limiters, which we could ship in via drone, right? You think there's, by chance, iron and coal nearby? Because that would just be way too convenient if there was iron and coal right there. Where's a coal node near this place? I'm going to let the scan happen and see on the map where there might be one. So there's some coal up here-ish, which isn't too far from this location. Not too far. And how about iron? Because if we don't have to ship steel in, that would be the perfect situation. We would only have to have a drone bring in the electromagnetic control rods, and that would be it. That's looking very promising, because it looks like there's an iron and coal right next to each other up here, too. So this might be an ideal location on my map to set up a nuclear power station, right? There's steel and iron nearby to make, or there's coal and iron nearby to make the steel things that we need for the encased industrial beams. There's concrete and sulfur nearby. We just have to bring the uranium over, and that shouldn't be too bad. And it's really not far from our uranium line. So I think that's what we're going to do. Let's real quick zip over there if we can, and just get a lay of the land, just so I have an idea of what it actually looks like. And then we're going to decide, but this might be where our whole nuclear processing facility decides to live. With those two raw materials being right next to each other, and the other two that we want being nearby, we could absolutely handle this. We could absolutely handle this. So this is actually a big old lake, which is cool. But this isn't the lake we were... Actually, no, that's not a lake. That's just a giant void of death. Yeah, no, a void... I know I shouldn't have to tell you guys this, but giant voids of death is definitely something you're not going to want to go near. So don't hang out in that area. But I think up here is pretty much what we're looking at. Yeah, I'm told that, like, tapping space is the good way to do this. Woot! I made it. Alright. So, number one, I see a slug that I can't avoid. Okay. I knew those guys were going to come at me. And they just went over the cliff. Booyah. Dun dun dun. Gotcha. Okay. So the sulfur and the stone were like right next to each other, right around here-ish. So that's not an iron vein, it's just an outcropping. Not a big deal. Now, what is a little bit of a bad news bears situation? I'm looking on my gas mask to get in here. Well, first off, we have a crash thingy, which is nice. But where's the actual sulfur vein? Is it on top of this outcropping? It looks like it. So that shouldn't be too bad. We can manage this. And where's the stone? Where's the stone? It should be right nearby. Stone. Where are you? For some reason, it took a really long time to scan it when it was 50 feet away. But here's the limestone, okay, which is a pure node, which is even better. That's cool. That's cool. And then the sulfur's on top of this rock, I think, on top of that rock. And this might be where I want to be. And then how far away was the coal? Iron was nearby. Coal was further. Yeah? Yeah. Coal, there's some right there. And then iron, 400 meters is nothing, right? And iron was right nearby too, 223. Perfect. I love this area. This is what's going to happen, all right? Next episode, we're going to come back and we're going to prep for this stuff. And then the water I need to make the sulfuric acid is going to be right under here-ish, right? It might be a sheer cliff face that goes down really far. It is, but we can manage. It's not far from our coal power plant, by the way, which is kind of neat. Now, in fairness, I think the coal that I'm scanning and detecting is actually down there. It's the coal that I'm already using, but I can amp up that coal production pretty significantly to the point where it won't affect what I'm doing too badly. And there's another one, if I'm concerned, up here, right? This coal I'm already using, but I think I only had tier 1, not tier 2 miners on it, and we could easily overclock and get enough coal up here that it won't be a problem. All right, but we're going to figure this all out next episode because it is wrapping up point. Darwell20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time and start prepping for a nuclear area. Where exactly I want like the nuclear power plants and all that stuff to be is yet to be determined. We'll figure it out, but we'll get there. All right, guys, take it easy.